Hello and welcome along to the Sports Express Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're back after a very short break, Sanele.
A very short international break.
And our return coincides with the return of rugby.
Yes.
Right, so the last 2 weekends, we saw the Super Rugby fan experience. We saw the green and gold last weekend.
Yes.
And now the Super Rugby Unlocked is back.
Yes.
So last night we saw the Sharks.
Indeed we did.
Up against the Lions.
Yes.
A very close game.
Very close, 19-16 was
But
the
a win for the
scoreline.
Sharks.
Yeah, but a win. It was an ebb and flow kind of match. Sharks coming through at the end. They were dominant at certain phases, but Lions, you can never count them out.
Yeah.
They came back and they really snuck it at the end, but luckily the Sharks managed to hold it through and they won.
And both these clubs obviously lost in the warm-up games the previous weekend.
Yeah.
So they were pretty sloppy, pretty bad. But the Sharks obviously were dominant in the Super Rugby before lockdown.
Yes.
And they were on top of the table in the South African conference, and they were the side to beat basically. And now they're just looking to keep that form because it did dip.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
because
yes,
as everyone would expect with the break
of course,
that was in between during the lockdown, but a good comeback from them to actually win the game.
Yeah, like you touched on it, the guys were rusty, and that's to be expected after a long layoff. I mean, we're not like New Zealand who went straight back into rugby with their Aotearoa tournament. So we've been out of the game and wanting to get back in it, so we can expect the rustiness. I wasn't surprised by the tempo of the game yesterday in terms of it was kind of sloppy at some moments, so the Sharks and the Lions will look to use this as momentum to move forward and get better, and hopefully get better and better throughout the campaign. Obviously, because we KZN boys, we're rooting for the Sharks. And
are you though? Last time I checked, you were...
Look, I mean, yes, I am.
Last time I checked, no, be honest, last time I checked, you were rooting for other people.
Look, I'm rooting for the Sharks, okay? Forget about last time. The pandemic changes a lot of things.
Okay.
So having said
Just
that...
checking.
Yeah, having said that, no, we're happy with the win. And hopefully that they can pick this up, get match fitness back, because it's one thing to be gym fit, it's another to be match fit. So pick that gym fitness up and move forward and hopefully not lose any games.
I'm glad you're mentioning that because, you know, listening to the gents, like how they were speaking before rugby returned, they were training in small groups.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the same as actually training with the whole squad and getting match fitness.
Definitely.
And knowing what competition you're going to be playing in, they can get a more focused, streamlined approach into training for the game. So it was important for them to get back into training and actually get back into action.
I think for me, to be honest with you, this first match, including the warm-ups, but officially this one, because this was the one where they would go 100% at each other. I think it was more them trying to get back at it. When it's pre-season or when it's those pre-tournament matches, it's just a warm-up. Everything's like 70 to 75%. Don't go balls to the wall kind of thing. But in an official match, it is balls to the wall, and they needed that impact. They needed that contact. They needed the game flow to patch up those partnerships that they may have lost during this pandemic. And I think going forward, the rhythm should get back, and they should get back into the rhythm of things and get back to where they were.
Yeah, the key performance areas, of course, was the fly half position. It was Kerwin Bosch up against Elton Yankees. Those are the main guys who are getting the points in the game.
Yeah.
It's a battle of the fly halves because Andre Pollard is injured for the Springboks.
Yeah.
So these two guys are going to be looking to get into that position for the Rugby Championship that's coming up later on as well.
Yeah, no, that's true. And Kerwin Bosch has always been in the, how can I say this?
Well, he's been in good form in the start of the year. He's always Super Rugby.
He's always been touted to be chosen in the squad, but he lacks
in certain aspects of the game.
He does, and the others just step up the game where it matters the most. So hopefully this is the season, because he has flair, he has speed, he's quick, he has vision. So he's like a
defensively, he's very questionable though.
Of course, I mean there's no rugby player who's not questionable somewhere, but I mean that can be worked on. Defense is always something that can be worked on. So having said that, I mean this year, like you said, or this season, like you said, these two fly halves need to pick up their hand and take that opportunity, because Andre Pollard is injured, and we'll see how they go forward and how they will take and use that opportunity.
Bosch got the better of Yankees last night.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to take the position ultimately for the Rugby Championship?
Elton.
Elton.
Based on
more experience.
Yeah, based on the experience, based on the fact that he's been there. Yes, he tends to dip for the national team. I don't know what it is, maybe the pressure, maybe other things that we don't know about. But because he's been there, I think ultimately they will hand him the number 10. I do feel that Cohen Bosch should be drafted into the squad so he can get the experience and get more experience and then carry on, play with the squad so he can get a feel for it, because provincial is not the same as playing for the national team. It's a completely different ball game. So he needs that experience under his belt so that he can develop into a world elite flower.
You want to go for a quick Super Rugby unlock prediction in terms of who's going to win it? The Stormers are still there. The Blue Bulls are in a resurgence right now. The Sharks won last night. Do you have an early prediction?
Early prediction, look, I'll stick my head out on the block like I always do. I will say the Sharks. I would say the Sharks, because I'm looking at how they finished in terms of
the Super Rugby,
and the fact that they've won against a formidable team like the Lions. So I'm banking on them to sneak it through at the end. It's not going to be clear cut. I don't think it's going to be clear cut. But I think they'll sneak it through.
I think we'll see very funny results as well.
We actually should, because
just like in football.
I think the pandemic, like we touched on football, has leveled things out. So we'll see. Even those Bulls that I'm writing off, you can never write off the Bulls. Let's be honest. So I think they will actually claim some scalps, and especially because technically, when you look at it, it's a derby. When you look at it, because they're versing each other. So the form book goes out the window when it's a derby. You want to get one over your countrymen. So we're going to get interesting results.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.